Welcome back to MetaMinds Online, where we help empower ambitious and time-poor people to unlock the life of their dreams. And today we're talking about your main problem, which is being time-poor, which is just not having enough time in the day. Like, we know that feeling just so deeply, where you want to get a video done, or you want to go and see a friend, or you want to do whatever it is that you want to do for yourself, but life comes up. You've got work, you have to go to the gym, you might have an appointment, like whatever it is that might come up in your way to kind of limit you from capitalizing on the time that you actually do have. So in this episode, we really want to touch on some like practical ideas that will help give you some time back, actually give you some practical, like tangible things that you can do. So I think the thing that we mentioned before, like let's start off with that. So it's really being intentional about the time that you do spend doing things. So a lot of the time, people out there might want to go to the gym, and they might spend an hour and a half, they might spend 2 hours. And when you actually really unpack what you're doing in that time, you might be on your phone, you might be trying to socialize or talk to someone else. Yes, that has its value on its own. But if you're really worried about being able to fit in the other things that you really value, you need to be really clear on how long you want to spend at the gym. So if you spend the 40-minute mark and you try to really limit yourself from playing on your phone, you really focus in on, well, I want to make some gains here, or I want to do some cardio or whatever it is that you want to do. And it's like, you're very intentional. Like, I know that you and I, when we go to the gym, sometimes I feel a little bit rude because I won't actually intentionally try to engage in conversations. And that's because I'm really aware that I value my time and I don't want to be there for an hour and a half. I want to do 40 minutes and then I want to go home and spend that extra time for myself or with my girlfriend or whatever it is. So I think that's a really practical thing, but that can extend outside of the gym. That could be in everything that you do. For example, I know you're really good with this. When we spend time together, it's like you'll let me know, like, I want to go and do this now, or I'm going to go to bed or whatever it is. It's like you're actually setting, I'm going to spend a few hours with Dan and then get out, basically. Well, and that's great.
I'm managing your expectations.
Yeah.
So to zoom in on that gym thing, like I like to superset. And so sometimes I'll like superset like 3 sets in a row, like 3 different muscles. And there's also other huge benefits to that. Not only do you save a bunch of time, but your, heart's pumping faster, you're getting more cardio in, you're burning more calories. So there's all sorts of other like benefits on top of saving time. And then you get out of the gym super quickly, And so, as you said, there's many other kind of avenues to that. And just to hit on what you were saying there is that basically, managing people's expectations, because a big thing is that other people can take up your time, and that's okay. Like, you want to spend time with people. We're not all robots like me, okay? Get out now. And so, yeah, you want to spend this amazing time with people. But if you do have a schedule, you do have commitments to yourself, you do have these life key performance indicators, which we talk about in the course. We have these life systems set up for you guys. If you have these ready to go and they are front of mind, then you manage somebody's expectations when they're with you. It's like, hey, can't wait to spend the next couple of hours with you. Around 9 is when, I'm going to go to bed. Get out of my house. I hate you. Like just something along those lines, really nice and subtle. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So just to zoom out a bit before we talk about more practical tips, I think the main thing that I wanted to hit on, but Dan so really just continued talking at the start of the podcast. I'm sorry about him, guys. Just forget about him. Is basically, if you are aware of the true value of your time, this is when it becomes easy to become intentional with your time. Because we are time poor, and it's so easy to say, oh my God, I'm time poor. And look, neither of us are perfect. On Thursday night, I laid on that couch and I scrolled on Instagram for an hour and a half. And then I realized what I was doing is like, what am I doing with my life? And sometimes you do need to do that. There are days where you're just not going to get anything done and you need to just relax. But there could have been other things I could have been doing with that time, like going for a walk or getting on a phone call with a friend, but instead I wasted it. And I, forgot in that period of time, the true value of time and the things I had to get done. And I could have gotten a lot of things done that day that I actually got done this morning, which was now a bit of a rush and I had a bit of anxiety. Like, just then I meal prepped like 20 meals, which is my meals for the next 2 weeks. And this might not be appropriate for everybody with like a partner or, a family and that kind of thing, but it definitely can help regardless of your life situation. These kinds of things. I just meal prepped a bunch of meals so I don't have to think about food for the next 2 weeks. But, I could have done that on Thursday night. So then I would have had Saturday free, but instead I woke up and I had to do 10 things before you were coming over. And, so I had that anxiety there where I'm like, oh my God, I'm time poor. I've got to do this life admin,
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. And, on that note there where it's like meal prepping is such a practical thing, but your environment might not allow you to have that time to meal prep 20 meals. But you could do a small thing where instead of cooking just for the family, you cook an additional amount where you're cooking for the next day. So you're just cooking a bulk amount and then putting that in containers to put in the fridge. It's like those small changes, those like small little initiatives that you're taking will allow you to get your time back. And like you really hit on there, time is the only thing that we can't actually get back. We can always make more money. We can always do more of really anything in life, but time is something you just can't get back. It's something that's lost. Like you said, it feels like a wasted thing when you're sitting and scrolling on your phone. And technically, you're wasting an hour and a half of your time that you're not actually gaining value from. But so many people do that, and we all do that. I do that, regularly as well. And it's something that comes down to that awareness of, like you said, the intentionality behind what you're actually spending your time doing. And I think for people out there who do have full-time jobs and who have very strict schedules around what they're doing, getting just a few minutes back is like really valuable. And for some people, will fall into that pleasure trap of, okay, well, we've got 5 minutes to myself. I'm going to jump on my phone now, or I'm going to do something that's pleasure seeking, whatever that may be, playing a game, doing whatever it may be. And that's just the natural thing we fall into because we feel, oh, we need to relax now, or we've got some time to ourselves. But it's really like structuring your mind around, well, I won't actually get this time back. And if I sit and play on my phone for 20 minutes, sure, I could have been doing something more practical, like you said, calling a friend, making a deeper connection with someone, maybe meal prepping for 20 minutes. Like whatever that thing is, it will help you in the long run because it will actually give you back more control of your life and your time. So I think it's really that, isn't it? It's trying to be very intentional and being very aware how important time is. It's something you can't bring it back.
And especially if you're an ambitious person, like us, like you have a bunch of hobbies and a bunch of passions, and yeah, sometimes you'll fall behind, or sometimes you won't be in the mood, or you'll be a little tired, whatever the reason is, and that's okay. You'll have those days. But if you remember your life purpose, and you have this mission statement, which is again, in our life systems, then it's much easier to be aware of the true value of time. And therefore, when you find yourself doing those activities, it's much easier to recognize when you are doing them and to step out of them immediately because you remember your deeper purpose and you have these systems that you have in place, which makes everything really easy. And so the largest time hack that I have found in my life, and I've been doing it for a number of years, but only very consistently for the last 6 months, every single day, is meditation. You might say, Eamon, why is sitting down for 10 minutes a day, wasting your time, going to actually make more time back? And, based on the science of meditation, which we won't get into here, it's very clear to me that because I'm much more present when I'm outside of that state, I spend 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, I try and do that every single day, then all of the time outside of that, it's much easier to have more awareness and attention so that when my brain flicks and goes, oh, open up your Instagram, and you go to do it, you can see it happening before you actually do it. So you can actually prevent a lot of these small things that get in your way, these things that are fighting for your attention and then, stealing your time away, essentially. You can actually be aware of them, punch them in the face before you even get to that point, right?
Yeah.
And so honestly, meditation is the largest time-saving hack, and it will take away some of that anxiety from you. If you're not doing meditation, I know it seems like such a hard thing to do. And honestly, Dan, I'm gonna call you out. You don't meditate. You don't meditate enough, dude.
No.
And he'll pay for a float, and pay whatever it is, $100 to go and sit in a bar. Dude, they're great though.
Yeah.
For an hour, and that's your meditation. But you won't actually sit down for 10 minutes and do that kind of thing. And anyway, it's literally meditation is the biggest time hack that you can have. And I would encourage everyone, if you're not doing it, it really is the best investment that you can make.
Yeah. And I think on that note as well, because meditation is seen as this very isolated thing you do on your own. You have to intentionally sit 10 minutes with yourself. To expand on that, I may not meditate in the to that extent, but I am constantly throughout every single day engaging in a mindfulness meditative state, whether that's sitting with myself while I'm driving, turning off all audio that I've got on and just sitting with myself. And I do an intentional meditation. For example, when I went to a newer job opportunity that I had to go to, I turned everything off while I was driving, and the focus of that was to breathe deeply, to oxygenate my organs, and to actually set an intention for where I'm going right now. So I'm going for a job opportunity, and I want to make sure that my intention is I gain the most out of it, or I connect deeply with someone, or whatever that intention is. So you can do things outside of that if you don't feel like meditation sits with you. There are many mindfulness actions that you can take on a day-to-day, even just appreciating nature and being with nature is like a form of mindfulness and meditation. So
absolutely. So hopefully there was a couple of valuable tips in there for you guys. We have many more that we will be giving you on the podcast and through the course that's coming up as well. Thank you very much for listening and getting meta with us, and we'll see you on the next episode.